Remember, finding great car service
starts with an investigation. How you doing, everybody? My name is Chris.
I'm Gary.
And welcome to Car Service Investigations.
Hi, Internet World. How you doing? I switched it up there, buddy. Yeah, you gotta love it, man.
He always keeps me on my toes. You know, I'm expecting that crazy Gary introduction, but
hey, sometimes
good to see you, Gary.
Switch it up a little bit. Yeah, you too, man. I'm like I said, I'm looking forward. You're coming down to see us all this week, so I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be cool, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. So
what are we talking about today, bro?
All right, so we want to know, how confident can you be buying a car online without a test drive?
Okay.
We'll
tell you a story later. So I love how this is going to go here, man. So, yeah, guys, think about this for a minute, right? Is you're going to buy a car at a dealership or you're going to buy a car online and have it delivered to you. So, Chris, I'm going to let you take it from there, and then I'll interlude as you keep going. So go for it.
Well, okay. You know, like you said, there's the two options. Okay, you're going to buy a new car, right? We're used cars are separate in entity all to itself, but we're going to try and buy a new car. When you go to the dealer, well, okay, what do? You've got you're gonna go to the dealer. You're gonna look at all the different options that they have, all the different models. You're going to be able to test drive any and all cars that are on the lot,
if they're on the lot.
But whatever's there that's available for sale, you're going to be able to test drive it. You're going to be able to negotiate the price of that car. And then, from there, you go into the room with the finance guy and, 6-8 hours later, you're going to drive away in that brand new car.
Right. And what we talked about in pre-show is, let's say you have a warranty factor. You're going to go back to that place. Let's say you want to buy upgraded floor mats. You're going to go back to that dealership. Anything you need for that brand new car you just bought, you're going to go back to that brick and mortar building.
Physical place to go.
Exactly.
Right? And it might be a little off topic, Gary, but let me throw this in there. How many times when somebody sent us a set of tires from an online tire store, and then a month later they got a flat, right?
Oh yeah.
We were we charged them to take the tire off, but then they had to send that tire back to the online store, wait a week, and come back to us again and pay us a second time to install that new tire.
Okay, so you're going
the
there.
Same concept. It scares me.
Yeah,
That's
you're going there. Yeah, you're going there. Is that we had a customer that did the same thing. He had a Jeep. He put 4 tires on his wife's Jeep. The tires lasted 16,000 miles. That's it. And he goes, well, I'm under warranty. I said, okay, so I can put it in the backyard, jack it up, put jack stands under it, take all the tires off. You can go to UPS or wherever and send the tires back to Reno and then wait, and then I'll put them back on for you. This is why I encouraged you to buy tires through us, because I would be warranting these tires out, man. And he's like, just put tires on. I'm going to eat the money. And that's what he did. So go ahead. I digress. Go ahead.
Right. Well, I mean, that's I guess the easiest example is to having a physical store to go to for immediate satisfaction. Okay. And if that's not important to you, well, then, the online store is going to save you a little bit of money, which is
going to save you a lot of money, in my opinion. You're going to cut the middleman out, bro.
Well, yeah, but I don't believe it to be substantial enough that in my mind, it's worth all the headaches and the hoops you have to jump through. So
okay, so let's look at this, right? So we talked about this. So when you go to online, and guys, we know who we're talking about with all the tow truck companies that deliver your car. So that being said, you pick a car out. So you pick that car out, it comes to you. That negotiation's done. There is no negotiating.
Yeah, the price on the screen is the price on the screen.
Exactly. So you got that price done. Okay, let's just for conversation's sake, let's say it's $40,000, and the car comes to you, and you go to test drive it, but now you don't like it. Okay, they take the car away, but you waited a whole week, maybe, or let's just say you waited 5 business days, and now you're like, well, damn, honey, what are we going to do now? Well, I guess we're going to have to pick another car.
Right.
And
back at square one.
Exactly, back at square one. So I want to talk to you too about the ins and outs of what's going on that we all know in the car industry, right? So statistics are showing that the wholesale value is starting to come down, the used car market's starting to come down a little bit, and so is the new car sales market starting to come down. So these guys that bought these cars and put them on their lots, they're going to start losing money because depreciation value is sinking on these cars. And so we're talking a lot about the high-end cars and everything. You use a $100,000 Mercedes or BMW. that, realistically should be 80, 85,000 maybe. And now they're going for 95,000. And these guys bought these cars. They're stuck with them. And, so, when you look at that entity, how many people are really seriously saying, hey, I'm going to go buy a new car right now in this kind of inflation market that we have? And that's another thing I think that the key point with Chris saying is the brick and mortar, because you can negotiate these prices better, folks. That's the thing.
Absolutely.
Negotiating these prices. But it goes with that whole thing. How comfortable are you buying a car without a test drive?
Yeah,
I mean, they're going to deliver the car to you online. Yeah. And I mean, you're going to get the car from the tow truck companies, we call them. You're going to go test drive it. But again, what if you don't like it? What if you sit in it and you're like, it's uncomfortable? When I bought my Nissan pickup truck, I drove a Ford, a Chevy, a Dodge, a Toyota, and I picked the Nissan because it was the most comfortable truck for me to drive. And I personally wanted a Chevy. But it was uncomfortable for me in 2002. I didn't like the way it felt when I drove it.
Right. And
I had a choice.
Maybe this is a little bit extreme, but let's talk about upgrading. Okay, so you went out and you bought a Challenger, but you bought the base model with the 6-cylinder, right? You had it for 6 months. Well, I know it's kind of agreed. Why did they even make a 6-cylinder option is the better question. But the point being is that, you're 6 months into this car, and then all of a sudden you've just talked yourself into a Hellcat. Yeah, it's twice the price, all the whatever it is, but you can immediately drive to that brick and mortar dealer, and they will be more than happy to upgrade you into a Hellcat.
Yeah, you're going to pay for it, but.
Of course. But there is not a single online store where that can be done.
Yeah, right? No, true.
You're gonna have to go through the process of selling that 6-cylinder, and then going through the process of buying a car again. Right. Which is essentially the same thing at the dealer, but the dealer is just going to say, look, you've owned this car for 6 months. We're going to give you this amount of money, depreciation value, and take that against what the Hellcat cost, and you owe us this. And it's a hell of a lot simpler. It's just a lot simpler. And my personal taste in ice cream is I want a brick and mortar store to go to. I want that immediate satisfaction.
Well, you can even bring up. No, you can bring it up, man. I mean, I know this is going to be a little bit off topic in a way, but hey, let's all go to that online gaming casino that we love to play at.
That was trustworthy.
I'm going to gamble online, and hope to God that my money that I just won, I'm going to actually get it, right?
Right.
And that's the concept. That's the whole thing, man, is that this generation is, and there's no offense to you guys in this generation, but you want it now. Okay.
No, amen.
You don't want to waste your time driving somewhere. One of our mechanics, who I give a lot of respect for, was like, no, I'll buy it online, but damn it, I'm going to the store. I'm going to touch it, feel it, taste it. I'm going to be like, yep, this is what I want. And I'm going to go buy it online. Or I'll go online and go, okay, it's $30 cheaper. And I'll show the guy, I'm like, hey man, I could buy it online $30 cheaper. And he's like, no, it's fine. I'll match the price. So, and he gets it right then and there.
Right. But you have to consider the state and the city that we live in is big enough.
Totally.
It's big enough that this particular online store actually has a local showroom. Okay, so if you're out in a state that's not quite as populated or doesn't have the traffic, your only option is looking online. You don't have the ability, right? And so that's just another thing to consider, right? Is that you're at the mercy of the online store and their term of service or their process of selling a car. There's no way for you to interrupt that process. And
I agree, dude. I agree wholeheartedly.
The dealer, we've all heard the stories. You've been at the dealer for 4 hours and you finally just make that statement that, I'm going to pay you X amount of dollars for this car. And if you don't say yes, I'm going to get up and walk out. Well, don't do that. Let me go talk to my manager. Talk to my manager. And then all of a sudden, Gary, you're in luck. We can close that deal for you today.
Right. Well, also too, let's say, and we did this in our business, right? Like, hey, I'm not going to fix the car. I'm actually going to go buy a brand new car.
Yeah.
And maybe it was like a single mom. And I would freak customers out that were single moms. No one's around. It's just her and the kids. And I'd say, okay, what you're going to do is you're going to go pick 5 lines. Okay. So if you want, don't go pick 5 Toyotas, go to Hyundai, go to Honda, go to Toyota, blah, blah, blah. Out of those, pick 3. And then when you're ready to negotiate a car, I will meet you at the dealership, but you're not going to trick me around to dealerships. I will meet you at a specific dealership of your choice within a certain miles, of course, and I will help you negotiate that car. That's the problem with online. You don't get a friend that's an expert or just an expert, period, to help you negotiate that car if you don't know the experience of buying a brand new car for the first time.
No, you're right. Oh, what a great point, right? Because this is the point that Mr. Producer brought up for us, was he wants to bring that informed friend to the dealer.
Yep, exactly.
And challenge the salesperson, challenge the finance person, right? And it's that that backup. You've got a little bit of backup, right? Your concealed weapon is your friend. It's going to help you get a better price, or at least make you feel better about the process.
Well, also too, you mentioned with saying, hey, this is the price I'm paying. If you don't like it, I'm bolting. When my wife and I bought our new car, we're going back 6-7 years. Yeah. I told the guy, I'm like, well, why are you trying to sell me a maintenance package, man? He goes, well, it's a good deal. I'm like, dude, it's 4 oil changes, and I own an automotive shop.
And we started this whole interaction with me telling you I own my own repair shop. So.
And I'm a master mechanic. So you want to charge me X? No, not going to happen. And I told him, I said, you're paying for that. I'm going to get that for free. Right. I'm not paying for it. You're giving it to me within the cost of the sale of the vehicle. And then he comes back. I'm like, okay, why are you charging me this much? I'm not paying interest. I'm doing this. And he's like, well, then I can't do the deal. I said to my wife, I said, okay, let's go. We're going to go next door, and we're going to go buy the car that we actually came to buy, but my wife fell in love with the car on the lot that we drove by. But he straight up did it. He came back 3-4 times. He's like, okay, so I talked to my finance manager, and we can go and sell you the car at that price. Duh.
Yeah. Right. And whereas the online process, you would make an objection. You would say, this is what I want. And you would be told, I'm sorry, that can't happen. And transaction's over. The conversation ends, right?
Yeah, totally.
And so you mentioned it earlier, Gary. It a lot of this has to do with your age, really. I mean, the younger generation is just accustomed to the online world and the online business world, which is fine. We're not saying one way is better than the other. What we're trying to say is you need to know what you're getting into, and before you make these moves, look at both options deeply.
Go ahead.
No,
okay, so to close this,
go ahead, dude. We're interrupting.
Finish it. Yeah, to close this out is what Chris and I think is going to end up happening is every manufacturer is going to follow the tow truck rule. You're going to go to a dealership eventually. And you're going to have your choice of the cars that you want. You're going to test drive whatever you want. And then you're going to order your car. And the dealership is going to deliver that car because it's just a showroom. That's all it is. It's going to be what we call the Tesla model.
The Tesla model.
Right, exactly. Because when you want service, when you want parts, you're going to go to another facility for that. Just the showroom is where you're going to go. And, what do you think, Chris? Maybe like another 5 years, somewhere around there?
Yeah,
maybe 10
realistically, probably 10 years, we'll start seeing the introduction of this stuff.
Okay.
And eventually what'll happen 25, 30 years down the line, I believe, is that no one's going to own a car. Okay. This will be
I agree with you.
The Uber model, the automated self-driving car, and it'll just become a flavor, right? Like you like Mercedes, I might like Audi. So when you need a car, you're just going to do the Uber model, and you'll order a Mercedes, and that car will come to you, and you'll be given the option, Gary. Do you want a C class, an E class, an S class? And obviously there'll be a price difference for each, the higher you go in model, but that's what's going to happen. And there'll be Toyotas and Kias and Hyundais available for people as well. But, remember, you'll own nothing and you'll like it, right?
He went there, folks. He went there. This is happening. It's going to happen. I agree with you. All right. Well, I think we gave the viewers
people something to think about.
Yeah. And it's, again, it's the choice. Yeah. It's giving you that educational decision of your choice. What choice do you choose to say,
Right.
I'm going to go buy a brand new car at a brick and mortar, or am I going to go online and maybe have a nightmare when I do that online? It's not saying either one is good or bad. It's just,
right.
you know,
Just
Chris and I are a
make
little
an
older.
educated decision. That's what
Exactly.
we're trying to say, right?
Right.
So,
exactly.
so, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you subscribe,
Yeah. Like the video
right? Tickle the bell
and leave a comment, please.
and share it as much as you can. It really does help.
Yeah. And guys, thanks for watching. Have a great day.
Stay safe.
Remember, finding great car service
Starts with an investigation.